Well, welcome back. Now, last time I introduced to you a project that I was incredibly excited about, although some of you are probably struggling to see why I was excited about it, because quite frankly, I have the morsels of a bike. There's not too much to go on, but as I said previously, with these 20s motorcycles, you don't actually need that much. They are what they are. They are a very raw motorcycle with no fancy bits. There's no lights on this particular one. There might have been the option for lights from the factory. That's right, an option. But we're not doing any of that. So what we want is something that runs and rides and stops when we want it to. So I think what we've got is a good basis for that. Behind me, I've got the girder forks and the frame, because today I think we're going to strip them of rust, paint them up, and see where we're at. With any project like this, it's so difficult to know where to start because you don't have a lot to go on and there's a huge amount to be done. So I thought it would be good for the mind and good for the bike to strip off some of the rust. That way we can also go across the parts and inspect them. Do they need repairs, or are they going to be okay with just a lick of paint? So hopefully today we'll probably be using the wire wheel, we'll probably be using the grip blaster as well. That's a very handy tool for stuff like this. And we can just make headway, make the first moves on getting this motorcycle towards its final point on its journey. So very, very exciting stuff. Without further ado, I will grab the frame and forks. So we're up close and personal with what I believe is the 1925 frame and forks. And although it's rusty, you have to appreciate it for what a beautifully made thing it is. The 20s was a time of great experimentation for motorcycles, and this is no exception. This is a beautifully made thing, but this is very thick gauge tubing, which is great because we have got some rust that is actually starting to pit the metal, and I have spotted a part where it's actually rusted through. I'm not too worried about that because I have the fabricational skills to fix something like that, but also BSA have helped us out in using that thick gauge tubing. It hasn't rusted through to the point where I think, right, that's going to be dangerous. So that's great. I think where we'll start at is I'm going to see if I can get the girder forks in the shot blasting cabinet. Shot blaster is great because anything that's a bit of a strange shape is much more easily cleaned up rather than doing it with a wire wheel. And these girder forks, they have got fiddly little bits in them that would be difficult to get the wire wheel in there. The other nice thing about these is that they disassemble quite nicely. I haven't got any of the bolts or hardware, so I can't get that one out. Or that one. But basically these little links should remove, and then we can disassemble the forks and shot blast it all up, get it painted. One nice thing is I've actually got the top cap for the forks, and the thread is actually still beautiful. It undoes quite nicely. So that is a bit of a plus side. I wouldn't want to try and get that off there if that was seized on there. That'd be a very difficult task indeed. So yeah, I think we'll take the forks off of the frame, disassemble it into individual parts, and then we can take it over to the shot blaster, blast it all up, and see what we've got basically. Very exciting. actually came apart surprisingly nicely. No doubt it's been apart not that long ago, not in my ownership, but definitely hasn't been seized since, you know, say the 80s or something like that. Now, as I said before, the thread on here is actually in remarkably nice condition, which is amazing for something that is nearly 100 years old. The other nice discoveries I found is that the surfaces for the fork pivots are also quite smooth. They're in good nick. So as you would have seen when I'm taking it apart, this fork link here slips in there. Those surfaces that it runs against, they're in pretty good condition as well. If you look at that, hopefully that focuses. That's actually quite nice and smooth. So hopefully we'll have a nice smooth actioning fork. That is the top cap there. As you can see, the thread in there is nice as well. That's quite an attractive thing on its own, although it's got a lot of pitting. I don't mind that at all. There is no escaping the fact that this thing is old. Up here we've got our top clamp. Again, the surfaces are nice. It's actually got the little pinch bolt in there. I'm not sure how easy that is going to be to get out, but I would kind of like to save it if I can. I think once we've shot blasted it up, we'll be able to see. The shot might even ease it off a little bit, get some of that surface rust from around the edge away. So yeah, that's a top clamp, not dissimilar to a bicycle top clamp, if you remember those. Handlebars go in through this little hole here, and then pinch it down with that bolt on top. The actual forks themselves, yes, they're quite heavily pitted, but I think they're all right. I will inspect them as well. Something like this doesn't have a great amount of weight put on it either. The engines are small, they're not weighty, especially not by today's standards. Now this has actually got some little bits of original paint on it here. That is a shame to get rid of that, but I can't leave the whole fork unpainted for the sake of, you know, 2 centimeters of original paint. So as much as it pains me, that has got to come off. So hopefully we'll be able to get this length of fork into the shot blasting cabinet. I think it might be a bit difficult, but we might be able to do it diagonally, and then see where we're at. So I'll take everything over there now, load up what I can, and get some stuff blasted. So I've just finished grit blasting all of the components, and I have to say they've come up rather well. Grit blasting kind of leaves a better surface for painting than it would if I was to wire wheel it. Wire wheeling it kind of polishes it up a little bit, but a couple of nice finds. This bit of yellow around here, in case you're wondering, that's where they've actually brazed in the steerer tube. That's something always really nice to see. It's like finding gold whilst you're working. Things have cleaned up really well. In fact, some of the fork linkages have cleaned up so well that you can still see the original patent number and the 3 rifles stamped in, which is really cool, because I think, to be honest, we probably would have lost those, or they would have been dulled down if we would have wire wheel it. So I think we've dodged a bullet there. Another thing I forgot to show you previously was the fork spring. I have actually got a fork spring. It's seen better days, but I think we'll be able to get away with it. The mounting hardware has been cut, so obviously that's had a previous life. We'll probably have to make up some new pieces for that. But I'm going to go ahead now and see if I can fit in the actual fork legs, and even if I can just blast down the fiddly areas, that'll be a massive help. Right, well, I've just unsuccessfully attempted to grit blast the forks. I got to some of the more fiddly areas, which is great, but I had to remove a shield to fit them in there, and basically that meant that the grit was blasting everywhere. I couldn't see what I was doing, and also the gun is so large in there that it's hard to move around with the forks, so that didn't work. We're going to get out the wire wheel, and we're going to wire wheel over the whole lot. I think most of the difficult spots I managed to get, so that will help us, but we'll just have to be a little bit careful about it. I don't think there's any maker's marks or stampings that are in danger of being flattened by that, but yeah, we'll just have to give it a go and see how we get along. So I've just finished up cleaning up the forks with the wire wheel, and you can see the distinct difference. Like, this is quite shiny, it's become a little bit polished, whereas this is nice and matte. It almost looks primer coated. So this is obviously better for adhering to the paint, but we got to do what we got to do. We couldn't get that in the grit blaster, and that is what it is. A couple of nice discoveries. These do look straight quite often. Girder forks of this era will end up bent. One, they're really old, they've lived a life, but two, if you have a head-on collision with anything, these are going to be the first thing that bends. These are straight, they're not too bad condition. Looking at them, actually, some of these lengths of steel are really quite nice. These are quite a nice thing to just look at. I'm kind of appreciating them for what they are. I can only imagine what they would have looked like when they were fresh out of the factory. But I think what we'll do now is we're going to throw a lick of paint on everything bar this top clamp. And we're not going to do the top clamp because that pinch bolt is seized in there, and we're going to need to get that out. I'm not sure whether it's reusable. Someone has tried to cut it off at some point in time, so it has got a small slit in it. I might be able to work out something with that, but I think we will leave that for a later date. Let's get everything else painted up, and that way this isn't going to flash rust, and yeah, we can start making some movement. I'm not going to be spraying it. I actually tend to use a brush-on black paint which goes direct to metal, no primer needed. I really like the finish it gives off. It's kind of a satin look, and it's actually the way that I painted my Triumph frame, so I already know that it can give quite a period old looking finish. So let's go grab a brush, grab the paint and get a coat on there. So a fresh coat of black for the forks, and I've just lightly reassembled them. I'll probably give them another coat at another stage, but I don't want to go too far just in case I do decide to go back into these and sort out anything. Now obviously we left the handlebar clamp and the pinch bolt around the back that secures to this stem just here. That needs removing, so I think what we'll do now is we'll get out the oxypropane, we'll put a bit of heat into that, and we'll let it cool down naturally, and then give it a tap on the back and see if we can get it out, support it from the other side, maybe with a socket or something like that, and see if it will budge. Right, well that actually came out really quite nicely after we got a little bit of heat in there. Yeah, I think we might be able to save that. It's still relatively straight. You can see there, if that will focus, someone has tried cutting through it, but they haven't gone very far. I don't know why they decided to give up. They obviously got the nut off, but we might be able to blob a little bit of weld in there and then re-tap the thread over the top of it or something like that. This is quite a neat thing because looking at this side I thought, well, it's got no hex on it, there's no way of locking it. How does that ever do up tight? But it's actually done through this little locating pin on there, which then locates in there. Now that is something that we could make up if need be, so it's not a massive deal if we can't reuse it, but it would be nice to see if we can. So I guess I'll slap on a bit of paint on there and yeah, put them back together for a bit. Right, well, the entirety of the fork has got its base coat of black paint on there. Now, you might be thinking, what a bizarre thing to do to start a project by painting. It's not the painting I'm interested in. It was the stripping of rust so that I can properly assess what's going on. Are they in a suitable condition? Do they need repairs? Now, I can see areas that might need a little bit of repair, but I'm not too worried about that because once I've stripped them down, I don't want them to start rusting again. I'd rather get a protective barrier on there, and if I have to strip a little bit off and do a bit of fabricating here and there, that's okay. It would be a different story if we were going to braze stuff and things like that, but we're not, because these are okay. When you shot blast stuff, it tends to stay without rust for quite a long period of time. I'm not sure why, maybe someone does, they can comment that below. But when you strip stuff down with the wire wheel, it will come back the next day in here because it gets damp over in my little corner. So yeah, I just wanted to get a little lick of black paint on there, and we can strip it off when it comes to doing whatever repairs we need to do. But that is going to be it for today's session because my videos seem to be getting longer and longer, and I want to pique your guys' interests, not you get bored of me, which I think is around the 10-minute mark, and we're already over that. So I'm going to say cheerio now. Thank you to you guys for watching again. I hope you're enjoying this new series, and join me next time where I might be doing the 440 or I might be doing this again. We will just have to see. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.